could you start off by updating us on the fitness of your players? I think 5 key men sat out at least part of training, including Nathaniel today.
Yeah, that was just to wrap them in cotton wool, really. It was difficult to get them off the training ground sometimes, and we've got to think longer term, and it's important tomorrow night that we peak, not in training today. So I asked the doctor and the physios and the players to just drop it down a gear and have a nice day in the sun and prepare properly for tomorrow night.
Just on that, it's hard to remember a tournament where a team's kept all their players fit, but I hope I haven't cursed
Thanks, mate. Yeah.
You seem to have done that so far. Is that just the luck you need in a tournament, or is that down to your planning?
Well, it is a little bit of luck, but we're very fortunate that we've got a really good team behind the scenes. So our doctor, our physio and our sports scientist support our second to none, the best I've ever worked with. They're brilliant, really good, very knowledgeable, and it just helps you when you want to put a training session on. Sometimes you want to get everything over, and sometimes you got to just calm down a bit and find out whether they're going to be right or not.
You've also got a sports psychologist with you. The first time a developmental England team's taken one with them.
Yeah.
Alfie Mawson kind of hinted after the game the other night that might have played a part in you turning it round. How important has she been? Why did you make that decision?
Well, I think Rebecca's definitely part of the team, but we've got a very experienced team. So Ben, that's the sports scientist, was the strength and conditioning coach for the women's hockey team that won in Rio, won gold. Our physio Remy has worked with England Sevens rugby and the RFU for a number of years, and Cirque du Soleil, and we've got our doctor that's a former wing commander in the Air Force, so we've got a lot of experience there. And then you got obviously us that pick up the balls, the bibs and the cones and put them out now and again. So we've got a really good team behind the team. But it doesn't mean anything really unless I haven't got the best players, which we think we've got some very good players.
So how have you ended up with someone from Cirque du Soleil and a wing commander in your lineup?
I just think that they thought, where can we go that's completely different to where I work? I'll go and try and get a job at the FA.
Nathaniel, which bits of the behind-the-scenes team are most beneficial to you as a player?
Like Aidy's just said there, I think with having Rebecca around the team definitely gives a different perspective. She's definitely brought a lot of positivity to the group. But like Aidy said, we've got all the sports scientists who are very important, the physios, the doctor. They play a big part.
So would you go to Rebecca as an individual, or is it more of a group thing?
It depends, I think everyone's got their way of doing things, and I think if you need to sit down with a one-to-one, you can make that decision yourself, or if she sees anything, or if she wanted to do it as a group. Either way, I think she does work both ways, really.
So, Aidy, at half-time against Slovakia, how heated did it get? And is it actually a good thing? Do you like to see your players owning a situation like that?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's when you know that you're onto a good thing, when you've got players that take responsibility and are accountable for what's going on the pitch. It was a big pressure game, and I think there's a lot of frustration, and people naturally want to speak their mind and say what they think, but that's not important, because it was history, it was finished. So it was important to focus on where we want to be at the end of the game, and the here and now, and what we've got to do to be able to do that. So thankfully everybody calmed down and we did what we had to do, and I have to say I thought it was an amazing performance in the second half. The pressure that the players were under to perform was huge, really, because we were going home, and the fact that we're still here, we're smiling, shows that we've given ourselves a good chance of progressing in a tournament.
What do you pinpoint as the specific moment you turned that game? Is there a second during that half-time team talk, or do you think it happened out on the pitch?
Well, it definitely happened out on the pitch. My job, just like all the other support staff, is to support. The players are the ones that do it when they cross the white line. And we hear a lot of talk about English players not being able to cope with tournaments and such like. But what I saw that day proved to me that we can. And what I saw in the under-20s and the under-19s and under-18s shows me that we can, and I'm sure we'll do that at first team level too.
Nathaniel, you're a really senior player in the team. Did you say your piece?
I think I've mentioned it before. We've got a lot of respect for each other as a group. and you know, everyone's got the right to say whatever they want to say. It doesn't really matter what time it is, and I think when we got in the change room, there were a few words being said, and I think we took it on board really well. We sat down, listened to each other, and Aidy said what he had to say, which calmed us down a lot, and we just took it out there really in the second half.
Who are the leaders? Who are the guys who really do talk up?
Well, I might as well just name the whole squad really, but I think, you know, you've got the senior lads in the squad who have played in the tournament before, and I think, you know, they've experienced it. You know, being here 2 years ago, you know, we've been through it, so we just pass the information on. But you know, we've got a lot of characters in the change room, and nobody likes losing. So there are a lot of voices.
Do you see differences between this group and maybe the groups you've had 2 years before and 4 years before as well?
Yeah, I mean, every group's different, really. You know, in terms of the team.
Are there things that make you think, though, that this campaign's headed the right direction?
Yeah, well, if you put into perspective the position that we're in now, in comparison to the last 2 years, we're in a very good position. So, you know, like Aidy said, we've just got to keep smiling, keep enjoying it, and try and kick on, really.
Aidy, can I just pick up one player with you, Tammy Abraham? How important has he been? How impressed have you been with him? No goals so far, but his all-round play.
I think his all-round play has been really good. He's a very honest, genuine boy. He wants to do the best that he can. You have to drag him off the training ground. He's the most enthusiastic person you'd ever meet. You know, he claps himself when he wins a corner. He's just a genuine, brilliant guy, a really good guy. And you know, what you say about his goals. We know he can score goals, but it's the other stuff that he does for the team that I think is really important. And he has been a key player for us, definitely.
It looks like he's heading to the Premier League, maybe even today. Is it the all-round play as well as the goals that make him ready for that, do you think?
I think he's fearless, and I think he's got absolutely no fear. He believes in his own ability. He's had a terrific international career as in the development teams. He was with me last year in Germany, and he's managed to push on through his goal scores for Bristol City and his performances there to earn himself a place in this under-21 squad. And now, you know, as you say, he's going to be maybe playing his trade in the Premier League, and it's great to have another English player. Hopefully he can play regularly wherever he goes and get some more experience. You
were really relaxed handling the situation when Jordan Pickford found a new club. With one or two transfer rumours still bubbling on, are you still as relaxed about it now that you're right in the heart of the tournament? Are you worried about it being a distraction?
No, sometimes it helps, Patrick, because it means that, you know, we can take the mickey out of the lads. You know, Jordan Pickford's got a little bit of stick, and I'm sure Tammy will get plenty of stick. It's just a bit of fun. We can't do anything about that, so there's no point worrying about it. I think the players have. I think it's a welcome respite from club football that they can come away, represent the country, and hopefully do really, really well. And it gives the rest of us something, ammunition when they come down for dinner and breakfast.
And if people need to have medicals or anything like that, you're relaxed about that?
Oh, we have to be, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't. There's a time and a place. We wouldn't have it on a match day or before a match day or anything like that. But we certainly do our best to help any player or any club come to any arrangement, because, you know, we're all working together for the players. How good is he, Nathaniel? How good is Tammy?
Tammy, yeah. Tam's a fantastic player. For me personally, I've known him for a long time, so I've seen him grow, seen him improve as a player, as a person, and I think he deserves all the plaudits that he's getting right now, because, you know, he works very hard. He loves playing football, like the gaffer said. It's hard to get him off the training pitch, but yeah, he's a great lad, and he fully deserves everything that he's getting right now.
When did you first meet him?
Trained with Tammy was a few years back. I think he came to train over with the reserves back at Kielce, and I just remember this really, really tall, gangly guy, and he was just so enthusiastic, and he had some ability as well. So
obviously the team's the big picture, but do you have your own personal goals as well to send a message to Antonio Conte, maybe to impress other Premier League managers out there?
Well, I haven't really thought that far, to be honest. Right now it's just about me focusing on the games as they come, trying to improve. And if the manager's watching, then brilliant for me. If there are teams and managers watching, it's always a good thing. But for me right now, my concentration is mainly here and trying to get out of the group stages and hopefully going to win the tournament.
What do you see has been the next stage of your career? You seem like you've been around forever. Regular football, the next big thing, though?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's important to try and play next year for me. I've had a few spells where I've been on loan and not played as much, or been in certain places and not played. But it's always been a learning curve for me. It's always been the experience that's been important. And I think now as I'm growing, I want to be able to give myself a fair crack at the whip, and hopefully try and get some more games.
Any more questions? Yep.
Just one for you, for Aidy, please. You've had two tough games so far when the fans have been outnumbered with the other team.
Yep.
But this time's going to be a bit tougher against the host. Do you think is that perhaps your biggest challenge for this game?
Yeah, without a doubt, and the Polish team aren't bad either. I think they've been unfortunate and been very unlucky in a few games. Got some good players that have dropped down. Linetti, Jack, Stepinski are all good players and ones that we know that will give us a problem. They've got a massive heart. They start really fast, and you can see that they never give in and they keep working for their countrymen. So. As nice as it's been in Poland and as friendly as the people have been, I don't expect to get any favours tomorrow night, and we know that, and we'll be doing our best to get a result and to remain professional and to see if we can finish off the job of getting out of the group.
And what's your approach going to be? Is it you're going to change your approach for it a little bit? Obviously you need to, a win's going to take you through.
Yeah.
But you thinking of changing things tactically, perhaps?
Well, yeah, I think you've always got to give respect to your opponent and maybe tweak a couple of things slightly. We're anybody that is at this level is tough. And in our group, anybody could go through. All kinds of different results could happen. So we're in the driving seat, and we've got to make sure that we do our job professionally and that we don't get caught up in all the Polish passion and just focus on what our job is.
I'm allowed. I just wanted to know how big an achievement you would see it as, Aidy. We've had 3 tournaments in a row where it's been really tough for England under-21s, and if you've made it through to semi-finals, it's in your own hands. How big an achievement would you consider that to be?
Well, I would consider it to be an achievement. I think the way the tournament's set up, with the leaders of the group going through and the best runner-up, when you've got the teams that are in the other group, Portugal, and I'm not being disrespectful to anybody, Portugal, Germany, Italy, big hitting teams that have got points on the board. You know that you've got to win your group, and when you get a point for your first game, we were quite pleased. But I guess it took a little bit of a waking up to realise that we had to win that game. We had to win it, and we have to win this one. Really, we don't want to put our future in anybody else's hands. We want to make a choice and make sure that we do that. And in terms of an achievement, yes, we're here to go as far as we can, and if we keep improving like we do, then why can't we reach the semis and go beyond that? But first things first, what we definitely won't do is get carried away and complacent. We've got a job to do against a really good team, the host nation, with 15,000 people behind them and against us. And we've got to make sure that when we go out on that pitch that we deliver not only a winning performance, but a performance that earns the respect of the crowd.
What would it mean to you, Nathaniel, having played and lived through the tough times of a couple of tournaments, Israel, Czech Republic last time?
Yeah, it'd be a great achievement, but like the gaffer said there, it's more about focusing on the game tomorrow and making sure things are in our hands. I think if we go past tomorrow and we get the result that we need, then we start focusing on the semis and then hopefully going on to win the tournament.
I could also ask you, 95 appearances for England, youth levels?
Yeah.
It just feels like you've been around forever. What have been the highlights? Because there's only a few more to go, isn't there? Hopefully
Yeah, hopefully. Don't know. I mean, won the European Championships at under 17s.
15 then?
Yeah, the World Cup. I think we got to the quarterfinals in Mexico. Yeah, I've played in a few games, but you know, it's not something that I really think about too much, to be honest. You know, I just take every game as it comes, and I think right now we're here. It's the most important thing, the Under-21s Championships, and hopefully we can get the points that we need tomorrow.
And hopefully keep that total rolling when you're in the senior team, eh?
Hopefully that's the goal.
Okay, any further questions? Okay, thank you.